Hello and welcome to Kitchen Counter Crafts. If you like this video, would you please like, comment, share, and subscribe? And if you will, hit the bell icon so you could be notified of new videos. So recently I had all my black inks out and I did a comparison, and I have a video for that. And it had about 7 different inks, actually 6 inks because I didn't do the color verse. But I was just testing for water fastness, so like water resistance and how they behave. And so while I was doing that, I actually took all my swabs for the ink and then rested them kind of in a clockwise manner with each ink. And this one really caught my eye, and it's the Waterman. It ended up with a blue and then this really beautiful kind of orangey halo at the end of it. So I wanted to make some ink art. So for example, this is it's done only using Noodler's black. And so actually no, that's not correct. That is using Waterman's, and it's not giving me the yellows and the blues as I wanted, but also I was working really quickly with this. And so anyway, I just wanted to kind of walk through my process on some of those things and also just test out some of these inks. And so because the other ones were not that water fast, I kind of wanted to use the ones that were, so the ones that don't get washed out entirely. Because what happens here, I'll show you. This is Rhodia dot pad paper, and what happens is they just really disappear when you put water on them. So when you're doing art, this one gives me no chromatography. This one has a little bit of like a greenish, but still it's very muted. But the Waterman turned blue, but it actually was black when I put it down. So that's why I want to use that. But I also want to just play around with Noodler's black because it has some brown undertones. So and you can see that here. That's Noodler's black. So let's just, I think maybe what I want to do is I definitely want to play with the Watermans, but let's start with the Noodler's black, and we'll just kind of see how that goes, and I'll just kind of watch my time on that as well. So what I did was I have 300 GSM watercolor paper, and I'm just taking a watercolor brush and I am brushing on water. So you can, I don't know if you can see that. So just kind of putting a lot of water on the whole thing. So I'm going to just set it down, and a lot of people tape this down so you don't get warping. But you know, I'm just doing this here. So if I get warping, all I do, like this one, I just bend it back. There you go. So I don't really worry about that too much. And now I'm going to take Noodler's black. Actually, I'm going to shake it up just a bit, just because sometimes there's sediments. And we're just going to use a clean end of a Q-tip. And I don't really know what this is gonna look like, so I'm gonna zoom in here, move things about so you can see what I'm doing. Oh, and I have some gold and white paint just in case I want to use it. Move out of the way. There we go. Okay. So I can tell. Wow, that was great. Here, you can see what I just did. Just dropped it on the counter. So you know what I'll do? I'm just gonna pick it up. There you go. I'm just a mess maker. That's all I can say. There you go. Just wipe it up. Okay. So there's no water on this corner here or that one. And I don't see any water up here either. There we go. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some here. I'll just go like that, and then just kind of see how it moves on here. It's so fun. It really is. You can just kind of create your own thing here, and they'll just let the water do what it will. So let's see. So it's just gonna go around the edges here, which is kind of cool. There we go. That's really what I was hoping for. And you just kind of have to stand and just play with this a little bit to see what happens. Some of it's dripping off. I'm not really too concerned about that. Whoa, all my little things are moving sideways. By the way, this is real time, so you can just kind of see how this is going. And the nice thing about this is that you are going to be able to see, hopefully, the chromatography off of this as well, especially as we move forward and also as we dry the paper. So that's my hope anyway. Sometimes it doesn't show up, but it showed up so nicely on the paper towel. Okay, so I'm just kind of, whoops, went off the rails there. All right, so I've made quite the mess here. I'm just gonna wipe that up with all that I got going on there. And then I'm gonna just touch it in places again with water, especially on the edges. And by the way, I have a clean water cup, and then I have another cup for a paintbrush. So if I need it, I can do that. I'm just now touching a couple places with the Q-tip as well. Love the way this is looking. Okay, so I'm just gonna put some of this down, and to be quite honest, well, I think that's pretty much it. But what I'm going to do now is where there wasn't much, I'm just kind of rolling. I was talking to my daughter about this, and I told her, she was talking about my little tiny painting here, and I told her most of it is painted with a Q-tip, and now you can see that that is not a lie, because that's just kind of how this goes. Okay, and the nice thing is I like some of the white parts, but I also like that it has a lot of dark over here. All right, so if you want more dark, you can put some more black up here, but I really like the way this looks, and to me it's looking like, well, it's looking like kind of like a forest with some mist and some darkness. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna roll with that, and I just have some white acrylic paint, and you can use a like a gel pen if you want, or just acrylic paint, and it's not gonna mess up your art. Oh, you know what I should have done? Just thought of something. I needed it to be a little bit dark up there, so let me grab my Q-tip again, and Add some water here and here, and I think this is, there we go. Is that better? There's some shadows happening here. There we go. That makes it better. So I'm gonna just take some more. Let's dip this again so that you can see. No, nothing's happening. Maybe I didn't dip it enough. Okay, I'm gonna just touch that with some water. And let's see if I can, it's kind of hard to see it on the camera sometimes. Ooh, that's super dark. Okay, so when it's super dark and not exactly what you are looking for, well, that's so neat. Look at the way that moves. What you can do is just take a paper towel and have it absorb most of this. I'll put some over here on the edge because you can't really see what's going on. And this. Now look, I hardly have anything on this edge here. So all that kind of ran, but we're not going to worry about that. There, because you can actually touch it with your hands too, because you know it's like finger painting. And now the place where I had put the acrylic paint is almost like a resist, and I'm putting some acrylic paint there. And I don't want it to be like a perfectly shaped moon. I kind of want some edges to it. I also want a little bit of white over here. I'm just dragging this here. Just some clouds covering up the moon. And then just touching up some of the areas that I don't really want that much paint on. I mean, not paint, but you know, watercolor. But I do like that dark cloud right there. Okay, so I'm going to, I do still want some clouds over here. I get going in what I'm doing and then I forget about the camera and forget that I might not be in frame. So sorry if that just happened. And actually, I'm going to pull out just a little bit because I keep going out of frame on this tiny little painting. All right, so now if you want, you can actually add, you know, just a little bit of white in here, just if you wanted. I don't know why I'm adding some white, but just to get some of the paint off. Okay. Okay, so that's my painting. And so I'm gonna have to wait until this dries, which is almost there. I don't know if you can tell. And then I'm gonna just show you what I do to clean this up. Okay, so I have no patience, and it's not quite dry yet, but I just don't want to wait until it's dark outside, and it's kind of getting dark. So I'm gonna use my Noodler's Charlie that is filled with Heart of Darkness, and that is another fountain pen ink, and I like to use it because it gives me nice details. So before I use the Charlie pen, one of the things that I am gonna do is see these in the background, kind of a little bit. Oops, that's not a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna just, this is looking to me like trees in the mist. So I'm gonna just do that and then touch them up, but then I'm gonna do some finger painting, which is just dabbing this. But if you notice, it's kind of looking dark. In fact, it's looking as dark as the darker trees towards you, and I don't want that. So I want these to look very, very, very light. And so I'm just kind of dabbing this, and then I am moving it around with my finger so that it's just giving kind of the idea of a tree. There we go. That looks like it's a part of this one. Didn't mean that. I wanted that to be a separate one, but that's okay. We're just gonna keep that one the way it is, meaning it's dark up this way, and then, okay. So I am just going in and doing some of that there. There's a big fuzz on this. And I'll be honest, I was hoping for a little bit more chromatography, but maybe it's the paper. I don't really see it. And this one is way too dark. So I'm gonna see if maybe I can lighten it up with a little bit of water. And you can, except that you gotta take off a little bit of the ink again. So there you go. See, so you can kind of get an idea. There's just some fog and stuff. My moon has completely disappeared. So after this actually dries, I'm gonna have to go back in with some acrylic white and then redo that. But now to add details with the pen, so I'm going to just make that a little bit there, and I'm just dotting and touching so it gives a little bit of definition on some of these so that you can tell they're trees. Although I have to say I kind of like it the way it's like foggy looking. And I don't know if you noticed, but this one is really like, it's really standing out. So I don't want it to look like that. It's way too dark. You can't even tell because not really even on camera. So look, that's way too dark. The details are looking too sharp. So if the details look too sharp, just come in again and just kind of blur that up. Isn't that great? Who knew with just fountain pens and a little bit of water, you can really make something very, very lovely. So I'm just gonna make these look a little bit more like trees. And with this really fine brush, just kind of going, and the way you can do that is just like pull them up just a tad like this. Just a tiny tad. Just move it up like this. And again, this one's supposed to be in the fog, so I don't really want it looking very crisp. Just like that. See, like this one's kind of got a weird front to it. So I'm actually gonna touch it to the ink here, and then hopefully it's not too dark. There, that's it. So I guess I was hoping I could do 2 of these, but I think I can just do 1. And my moon not looking so great. So I'm gonna just put some watercolor on there. I mean watercolor, just water, no color. And see if I can even just pull up some of this with a paper towel so that it looks like a moonlit night. That looks better. At least you can kind of see an outline of a moon on there. A little bit more, can you? Yeah, you can see it on the camera, not so much in real life. How weird is that? Because sometimes you can see stuff better when you're videoing than I can in real life. There we go. And I think that is about it. So I hope you enjoyed that. My little paintings with Noodlers. Well, that's really dark too. And I hope that you'll try it. If you have some inks sitting around, especially colors that you don't normally use all that much, I really encourage you to just try your hand at something like this and just play around, because it's just paper. If it goes weird or looks bad, then just, I don't know, just put water on it actually, and then much of it will disappear, and then you can almost start all over if you want. But I hope that this encouraged you to try something new, and in just a short period of time you can create something like this. Oops, there it goes on my water. This one just has way more chromatography because I just let the inks kind of do what they were doing. And then this one has less chromatography, but I still kind of like the way this looks. So in the comments, it's not going to hurt my feelings. Why don't you tell me which one you like more and why, and if you are going to try this out. I hope you do, and until the next time, bye.